on, y'all? Hope you're having a blessed morning, evening. Dang, I messed up my intro. Hope y'all doing good. All right. Hope y'all having a blessed day, a blessed evening, and I hope your Sabbath is about to go okay, right? So today we gonna finish breaking down Job. We gonna go no notebook today, right? I'm just gonna break it down and explain what I got out of reading it. So pretty much, I had to look it up a little bit to get a deeper understanding from God Questions, but because I didn't fully understand Elihu's part, but really, when we look where we leave off, we left off with Job pretty much explaining his piece to his homies, and his homies weren't having it, bro. They're like, you gotta have been doing something wrong, right? So if you want to recap, go watch the last video, because there's no way I'm explaining all that again, right? Or read Job. It's a good book. So pretty much he explains to his friends, I'm not in the wrong, I'm being punished unjustly, stuff of that nature. And his friends are like, bro, you did something wrong, you had to have done something, right? But there was one young man, his name was Elihu, the youngest out of them all, right? And this also shows you that God does not withhold wisdom based on age. It doesn't matter how old you are. If you get wisdom, you get wisdom. Okay? Elihu was the youngest, but he is the only one that understood the entire situation after an analysis, right? Job didn't even understand. But Elihu was there. He said, Elihu pretty much said, I'm gonna hold my peace. I'm gonna let y'all speak. And he listened. And he saw the three friends. He understood that none of these guys got answers for Job. None of these answered him to his satisfaction, to what he needed, right? So he sat back. Elihu realized that none of them had wisdom. The wisdom that Job was looking for. Job didn't even have the wisdom. He was like, I don't know what's going on. God is doing this. What the heck, So I'm just gonna walk back and forth. So if you see me walking back and forth, that's what we doing. I just like moving, okay? So Job is like, bro, I don't know what's going on. None of this is making any sense. And Elihu is like, I've examined and looked at all of this carefully, and we need wisdom. So Elihu and Job start going back and forth, right? They're like, Elihu is like, to say you're more righteous than God, your actions or God's placement of suffering is wrong, is crazy, bro. Like, you should not be doing that. That's not something you should do. That's what Elihu's saying. He's saying God is a perfect being, bro. None of us are without fault, none of us are without fault. But to say God is doing this unjustly is crazy. Now, his friends told Job he did something wrong, which is wrong. Job did everything right? But one thing we didn't take into account, and this is what God brings later in Job, is that God knows what he's doing. And there was one thing they didn't consider, was that, yes, we are without fault, but inside our heart, inside our flesh, we have things that need to be taken out, right? We have things that need to be purged out. We got pride that we need to deal with. We got all sorts of stuff. God is the one that made us, so he understands what's inside of us, right? He understands what we have to deal with inside of our flesh. So he's the one who can take care of all that. So by that, he's bringing Job low so that Job can see what's inside of his soul. How many times have we been in situations we hated, situations that were frustrating, situations that really, it was terrible for us, but it brought out the worst of us and our personality? How many times have you been humiliated or brought low and you got angry, you got upset, you took your anger out on other people, the worst of you comes out in those situations because you don't have it good. There's no reason to be nice, right? And it's sad to say, but that's how humans are. This bug is annoying. But so when we don't have a reason to be in a good mood, it's a lot easier to fall into these nasty habits, these nasty moods, and to just lash out at anything around us. And for Job's case, when he lost everything, including his skin, he didn't necessarily curse God, I would say. Yeah, he didn't curse God, because God says, Job spoke rightly of me. He had a reason for what he said. He just didn't know any better. He wasn't cursing God, but he wasn't taking in the whole picture. So God came and corrected him, and Job's like, God, you're right. I don't know anything. Let me shut up. Right? And Elihu was the only one that said, look, God is perfect, God is just, and he does everything with reason. To say your righteousness is above the righteousness of God is wild. It's crazy. And if you're gonna say that, you're essentially putting yourself above God. That's what Elihu said. Or not Elihu. Is it Elihu? Yeah, Elihu. My bad. That's what he said. And Job's arguing with him. So we see what's wrong with Job now. He doesn't essentially see what he's doing, or he doesn't see what God is doing. So by not seeing it, he's saying it's unjust. He's saying he's being punished for no reason because he can't see the reason. And how many of us do that today? We go through hardships and we don't see why. We go through things and we don't see why. And because we don't see why, we say that God is doing something that shouldn't be done. Sorry, that helicopter is loud. It's probably not as loud to y'all, but we say God is doing something that shouldn't be done because we don't see why it's done. We don't trust the Creator enough and understand the Creator in our hearts that we can go, okay, what is it you trying to show me, God? What if Job did that? If Job was like, what are you trying to show me? Things would have ended up 20 times different, because he wouldn't have said, okay, well, it's not for no reason. Like, God, there's no way God just does things for no reason. That doesn't make sense. That wouldn't be a smart God. So that's pretty much the rest of the book, man. God comes after Elihu comes and gives his piece after examining the situation thoroughly. And you keep in mind, Elihu was the only one that was without fault as far as we know in this whole story. He came and he gave Job an opportunity to express peace, to express the right answer. And Job failed because his heart because he's not perfect, right? He's human, okay? Although he is perfect in a sense that he is complete with his integrity, that doesn't mean he's Jesus, okay? So if I say this car is perfect because I love it, that doesn't mean it's perfect because one of the tires might need to be changed, right? But it's a perfect car, you know what I'm saying? So same type. Job's perfect because he's complete, he's whole, he's lacking nothing, he can be built upon, right? But he's not perfect in the sense that he doesn't need work done in his heart, okay? And maybe that was I'm not gonna go into that, but that's pretty much it, man. God comes back after Elihu spits his piece, and God's like, did you make the seas? Did you make Leviathan? Can you hold Leviathan on a leash for the women in your life? He says, did you make the clouds, the sky? Look at that. Did you make that? Did you make that? That's what God said. You make these trees? You make the grass. That's not grass. You make the grass. You make the concrete. Yeah, the construction workers make it. Did you make those construction workers? That's what God said. And Job was like, dang, I feel dumb. That's what that's what Job said. And he said, bro, my bad, God. I'm gonna shut up. And that was the end of it. That was the end of it. Job learned his lesson. And then, oh wait, God ended up rebuking the 3 friends that came along to comfort Job, that ended up speaking wrongly on God's behalf. He didn't rebuke Elihu, the one that at the end that came, spoke his piece, examined it thoroughly, and said God has better plans above our ways. That's what Elihu said. He didn't rebuke him because he had the right image in mind of God. He respected God the way he should have been respected. Job didn't. His friends didn't. But he forgave Job, because out of all of that, Job was not someone who wasn't doing things with the right intentions. But not only his intentions, hold on, this motorcycle is about to go by, right? But he did it, yeah. He did it with, I'm not gonna say right intentions, because we can all do something with the right intentions, but truly, if you're doing something with the right intentions and you're moving to please God, he has no problem with it. A lot of people, when they say they're doing things with the right intentions, that's a half truth, because they're doing it with good intentions, but right intentions are intentions of the Father, right? I can move on. If God tells me to plant some grass right in this spot right here, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna plant it over there because that's what I find good, right? It's good intentions, but it's on you. It's pride. You're not doing what God said. God said put the tree right here, the plants right here. So if you're gonna go a different way than God's, and you know God's way, you know God's way. You see what I'm saying? If God is holy and he is only good and he is only righteous and everything he says is right, you're choosing not to be right. You're choosing the opposite of good. Everything but good, right? Everything but the right answer. God's answer is only right. So anything but God's answer is wrong. So immediately, your right intentions turn to wrong intentions, because you're not doing it the way it should go. You're not doing it the good way. So yeah, y'all. That's all it is, man. Job was lacking some wisdom. But now he was able to grow. He was able to mature in ways that he didn't see in himself. And that's what God wants to do to you. He wants to take you to the depths of your soul, to some different levels. It may not look like Job. I pray it doesn't have to, because Job had it rough, bro. Job definitely had it rough. Why is every helicopter going above this spot right now? Y'all see that? Y'all can't see. There he is. Just driving by, bro. I guess somebody got a 5-star or something. So I appreciate y'all for watching. I hope y'all learned something. Please go read Job. One of the most interesting books in the entire Bible, in my opinion. One of the best books, in my opinion, right? Because I'm like Job. I'm not gonna lie. I fear having to go that low. And God has brought me to a low point in my life where a year, 2 years ago, it would have been my fear. But now I'm like, the moment that I feared is here. And it's not to that extent, but I'm here, and you know what? It was one of the best things in my life. I'm not gonna lie to you. With it came wisdom, with it came understanding, and with it came knowledge that is gonna benefit me in my future. And I don't think I'm gonna have to go through this ever again. So with that being said, I love y'all. Hope y'all enjoyed. Hope y'all have a blessed day, blessed night, blessed evening. Enjoy your Sabbath and spread some love, man. I love y'all. Peace out.